Hey everybody, PC Wizard here. Welcome back once again. We are on the Team Raven FTB Mindcrack server. And today I want to talk to you about power. This fine stuff called electricity. Um, last episode we did this alveoli, and it works beautifully, and keeps the bees going and everything like that. And we've got these two fans we put in here, and I found out something interesting. These require and use 5 EU or 5 MJ Minecraft joules per tick. Unfortunately, they will eat up whatever you throw at them. They don't limit their consumption to 5, and from what I've seen, putting more than 5 in there doesn't make a difference. So one tip of warning to do is find a way to regulate the amount of power you're sending to them. In here I can do that using this redstone energy cell, and I've limited it down to 10 Minecraft joules per tick. So it's only giving 5 to each one of those fans. So that's where I wanted to start. And the second thing I want to go and take a look at is a production system I've been getting set up, ready to go for creating EU. Now, EU is used for industrial craft machines and a couple other things, I believe. But and it's got a lot of great stuff, but some of the stuff needs a lot of power. And this geothermal generator running on lava puts out 20 EU per tick energy units, and that's just not enough for some of the stuff I got to run. Like the industrial blast furnace uses 128 EU per tick, and if you have less than that, it just chokes and kind of consumes all the power you're giving it and everything. It's horrible. So I've been working on a way to step it up and make something a little better. And what I've decided on for a fuel source is zombies. Right down in here, check my jetpack. Yep. Right down in here, I have set up a zombie farm. Okay. Created a zombie 5 soul shard, set this up, and wired it all up so it's automatically going to be triggered. And basically it's going to give me a nice constant flow of oops, missed my letter, constant flow of rotted flesh, and that all gets pumped up into this room. And let's see, going to be right over here, and you can see some of the piping I'm doing up here. I'm trying to kind of hold out the reveal for just a minute here. Zombie flesh gets pumped up here into this chest. Okay, and you can see it's nice and full, nice gold chest full of zombie flesh. And the way this is working is this is cobblestone structure, and I've got a gate attached to it that says, if the inventory is full, turn on a redstone signal. That redstone signal is carried down through redstone pneumatic tubes, and the tubes go all the way to the bottom of the collection chamber to a transposer that's sucking everything up and pushing it up here. But the redstone only goes part way, and that when this turns on, it turns off the spawner. So as it needs it, it fills. It says, "Hey, I need more. Send it up to me. Let me see what I can do." And all that is fed down these tubes into this nice large area. These are all industrial centrifuges. Now, when you industrial centrifuge rotted flesh, you get methane gas, methane cells. And those methane cells are then going to be piped out of here, piped down this wall, and fed into these gas turbines. Gas turbines, in turn, are going to convert that methane gas into EU and feeds this MFSU that I've got set up down here. So this is the system we're looking at. These put out 16 EU per tick. Now, that is actually a little less than the geothermal generator, but I've decided to try it this way. I know there's ways I can create lava and stuff like that. I'm probably going to play with that later on, but for now, I came across this way of doing it, and I really wanted to play around with it and try it out. This system is going to create a massive amount of power. I don't know how well it's going to run on a long-term scale, like how well it will be able to keep up between the producing the methane cells to how quickly it consumes them and uses them up. But it's a full sealed circulatory system using these pneumatic tubes. And if you have not used pneumatic tubes, start doing it. These things are amazing. One common use for pneumatic tubes is sorting systems. Like these sorting machines here, you can color code where you want items to go to and stuff like that. And so they'll only go down certain lines. And I can explain that in more detail if anybody needs it. But the other advantage to it is with pneumatic tubes, number one, they're intelligent. They're not going to push an item down the path unless there's somewhere for it to go. And where normal item transport pipes, an item will just go down there. It doesn't care where it's going to go, and it's just going to dump on the floor if it has to or whatever. It doesn't care. These do. These are intelligent. And you can paint them and color code them, and that causes this effect right here. It prevents them from interlocking where you don't want them to. You cannot directly connect two different colored pneumatic tubes together. So this allows you to put your tubes very close together. You can see right here I've got a blue, purple, and orange right there. We've got yellow sitting back here, and this goes back, winds back around this fiber optic cable here and everything. Nice, tight, compact. Without being able to paint these and keep them separated like that, this would be take a much larger space. So these things are amazing. Definitely recommend delving into them and using them. Now, okay, so as this system works, this transposer here will just send. Transposer is not intelligent as far as what it does. It's basically just kind of blind and stupid. It says grab an item out of this chest and send it down the line. Now, thankfully, so far the only thing in here is rotted flesh, and the only place for it to go is into the top slot, the top of the industrial centrifuge, which happens to put it in the center to be processed. This bottom section down here, these are all my empty cells. This is another transposer, sends them down the line, feeds them into the bottom of the industrial centrifuge, which actually puts the empty cell right where it needs to be here. So the only thing left to do is provide it some power, and then these blue tubes are connected all the way over here, and actually, yeah, I'm going to connect them here too because I just wanted to leave this open so I could get in here to show you. They're connected all the way up at the top here, and this is a retriever. Retrievers are intelligent. You tell them what they're supposed to get, and they will attempt to get it. This wire at the top, I don't know why it's showing disconnected right there. This wire at the top is a Bluetricity wire. It is fed, let's see, that direction. Goes all the way back. I've got some solar panels sitting outside collecting energy and everything. But that feeds this, gives it its energy to run, and then the timer gives it a signal to pulse. There's another retriever down here. This one is set to retrieve empty cells. So what's happening is this one is going to say, hey, give me methane gas cells. So whenever these industrial centrifuges are done, it's going to feed the empty cells up into here, or rather this is going to take them from there. It's going to feed them around into a chest up here. This transposer is then going to send them out into these gas turbines. Now, unfortunately, without getting into a really super complex system, I don't have a way to have it say, okay, spread them evenly across all these turbines. So what's going to happen is it's going to fill them from the closest location first and then out. So it'll fill like this, this first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then like by the time it gets like to the fourth one or so, it's going to start splitting them between that one and the first one down in this row, in kind of a wave effect. And then that's going to go all the way across, fill all these up. So when I first get the system started up and running, it's going to be a little clunky getting running because it's going to take so much time to fill everything up. Once this MFSU is full, once the system is full of energy, full of power, and not really draining any off, you're going to see them all manage to get filled eventually. At least that's what I'm hoping. But anyway, I wanted to finish this off with you here, just to show you, a little bit of how this gets constructed. So I've got my remaining gas turbines that I want to put in place, and I've got a couple of the paint brushes that I want to use. So what I've got here, the wiring behind the scenes. Here we go. Fiber optic cables coming off of these gas turbines. Now these only produce 16 EU each, so you don't need fiber optic for each one, but by the time you start getting a few of them hooked together, you're definitely producing enough power that you need these high-end cables. So both rows, top and bottom, feed into this MFSU. This then feeds out the back of it into this medium voltage transformer down here. And then there's also a raw wire coming out this side. And as you can see, high voltage, 512 EU per tick at, right on this. Oh man, this quarry exploded on him. Not good. All right, power feed is on or off. Right now I've got it shut off just in case I throw something in here to generate some power. It's only going to go as far as the MFSU. But then, okay, so I've got this medium voltage transformer down here, and it's kind of hard to see, but this side of it over here has got 3 dots on it. That is the high voltage side. All other sides are low voltage. So coming out the low voltage side, which is 128 EU per tick, or 1/4 of what this is, that comes all the way down this line to right in here. And here I have an MFE set up, and it's gonna just absorb a little bit of power, work as kind of a buffer. And then coming off of here, this splits and feeds into 4 low voltage transformers. Okay, so these can take up to 128 ticks on the high side, and it outputs 36 12, 24, 36. Should be 36 EU per tick, I believe. But anyway, it's enough to run the 6 turbines that are here without killing them. And not turbines, centrifuges. Which I do need to make 6 more centrifuges to fit in here to finish it off. So I might make those in just a little bit. But the gas turbines, I'm going to sit over here. They are going to sit right against this fiber optic cable, like so. And so as you can see, I already had this pneumatic tube sit up here, and the plain pneumatic tube connects easily to the what's already been painted red. And likewise, it could just easily connect here to the the purple is also, but we don't want that to happen. Don't need it to happen. what we are going to do is complete this row, put the pneumatics up here. Now technically I don't need to paint this. It's not coming in contact with anything else. It's not, the coloring is not needed to dictate where items are going to flow, but I want it as a system reference also, so that I can look at the system and know that these tubes and the tubes up there are connected to the same setup. You know, it just makes a more logical sense as you're evaluating and looking at it. But that's all there is to it. Sounds simple, looks a little complicated. Component-wise, part-wise, it's freaking expensive. I thought about doing calculations to determine like how much this costs to make, but honestly, it's insane when you figure that. All right, these gas turbines, I have 24 of them here. In order to make a gas turbine, let's see. Okay, gas turbine is going to require 2 windmills. All right, so that's 24 gas turbines. It's 48 windmills, and which is then likewise 48 generators. Carbon plates. A stack of carbon will give you 8 carbon plates. So 2 stacks of carbon per windmill to create this. So that's all right. No, that wasn't right. Two windmills per stack of carbon. So that's 24 stacks of carbon or stacks of coal just to create these. Not to mention what's needed for, you know, parts that are needed for everything else. The industrial centrifuge requires some crazy stuff as well that on its own isn't too bad. And which one is it? Industrial centrifuge. Okay, it requires an extractor. Not a big deal. You know, a machine block. Okay, well, 18 industrial centrifuges, that's 18 machine blocks. 8 machine blocks per stack of refined iron. You know, it's quantities add up very, very quickly. Not to mention the amount of piping and everything in here. So, anyway, it was a very expensive endeavor. Thanks to my my quarry that I've had running and stocking up on items, I was able to have all the items I needed. Took a while. Definitely took a while. But I think it is now the moment of truth. I have in here, not in there, try in here, I made this nice advanced lap pack. And charged this up earlier when I was doing just a little testing on stuff. I gotten a little juice into the MFSU and then had to move it. So I drained it into this, you know, advanced lap pack, and we're gonna drain it into the system here and see what's gonna happen. Now, like I said, the power feed is off right now, so this, now it's gonna start dumping power there. This is going to dump everything into the MFSU. It's doing 300,000. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this on, and that's going to start feeding power down this way. And yep, there you go. These centrifuges are starting to run. Now these take supposed to take about 2.5 minutes a piece to run, but in the meantime, you can see this is already starting to refill the missing items. Now what I don't know is timing on this. Is this ticking fast enough to refill all of the rotted flesh before it's needed? I'm guessing probably not, so that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. But these timers, you can easily adjust the timing on them. If you just right click on them, you can set your time interval on how often they tick. A word of warning on timers: if you are holding a placeable block, like a piece of stone, piece of dirt, piece of wood, anything like that, a lot of times machines, stuff, if you right click on them while holding a placeable block, your system will crash. It's just a temporary crash. It's not a server crash or anything like that. So it's just, you just got to relog and try it again. So you can see those. You might have caught those empty cans coming back in like this. That means that there's nowhere for them to go out there. So they get fed back in here into an internal buffer in this transposer. They don't get put back in the chest here, but they're just kind of held on there, and the next time there's no empty slot, it's going to take everything that's in the buffer here and dump it out. So that will happen eventually. This is actually cranking along pretty good, and I can see here I'm only starting to refill the second one, and it's saying I have insufficient power. That's not good. Maybe that was from when I canceled it before. Let's just hope this keeps going. See, I'm only filling the third one now, so this definitely has to get ticking a lot faster. And I may want to end up splitting this up and have the rotted flesh on a separate timer, just because so I'm not completely overloading the system with cans, trying to get everything shot out there too fast. But let's cut this time in half. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want to go to about 2.5 seconds, milliseconds. There we go. 2.5 seconds. Still sure that's going to be way short. All right, where are we at? Almost done. And that one's almost running. That one's running too. That one's almost done. And let's see what we got going on down here. Okay, this is completely empty. And, oh, we are out of power. This is not good. I'm simply using too much power. Okay, I've got power in here, which is good. It's definitely good. Is it going to be enough to get me through this first batch? I hope so. This might be a little interesting. Now, granted, it's only what 1 million EU that I used to try to create this stuff, and I don't know if you can hear it, but the zombies are now spawning because it has emptied a slot in here, so there is room for more flesh to go in here. So it started spawning the zombies down there, and in just a moment we should see, yep, here we go, we've got some cans running through here. And there's empty cans going back that way. So we've got up here, we have gas turbines starting to run. And I'm going to shut that off for now, just because I am literally out of power. And I'm going to have to figure out a way to load up on some power pretty quickly. Know how much have I got in here? What's that, 250,000? Okay, so I admit, didn't do a whole lot of calculating on how much power I need for everything to run. I know eventually it's going to be a positive gain. It's just a matter of getting everything started. I'm going to drop this down a half second because it's definitely not keeping up at all. Alright, so we got that feeding there now, so now that should help fill it up a lot better. And this is going to be kind of slow because it only of course it only put the methane into one gas turbine, just because it doesn't have enough to fill them all. So this is eventually going to fill up. Now, these are, as you can see here, 45,000 EU per canister. So right here is 450,000. A little bit more than that. So fairly good quantity. It's going to be an experiment. We're going to see how long it lasts, how quickly it goes through everything. Well, I did end up having to baby the system along a little bit. The first few cycles, I kind of took the methane that was coming out and split it across a couple different gas turbines to just distribute the power generation a little bit. Did that for about the first 4 or 5 cycles, and then just walked away and let the system run, and eventually it completely filled up. It did take a while of just running on its own to eventually fill up, but I had, both the MFSU and the MFE were full of power. All the gas turbines were stocked with methane cells waiting to be used. Everything worked out just absolutely wonderfully. And as I start to use it, which you'll see in some future episodes, it is running just absolutely wonderfully. As I draw power off it, it just constantly restocks it. It did have to end up splitting the timer off on the CAN and Zombie Flush feed. I split those into 2 separate timers so I could control them separately just to get things balanced correctly, and it's working beautifully. Now I know there are much different systems out there you can use, solar panels and nuclear reactors, everything else, but I wanted to do this. I saw the components, and I just envisioned this massive system being able to run, and it worked, and I love it, and I had fun building it. And that's the big thing. I had fun designing this and building it, putting it together, and getting it all working. So I am PC Wizard. Thanks for watching.